and welcome to Auto Arcadia. I'm one of the hosts, Colin Wood, and with me, as always, is
Thomas, the other host.
what's happening, dude?
Not too much, not too much. Got car fixed, so no longer really annoying auxiliary belt. No more squeaking. Feels great. Very happy about that. So on a bit of a positive note today, and I'm actually quite looking forward to discussing what we're going to discuss. How are you?
Okay now. I was raging a bit against the world a little bit before, but I'm chilled out and looking forward to tonight's episode.
Cool. Well, yeah, no, I hope you find this enjoyable and informative. I genuinely really enjoyed reading about what we're going to talk about today, which is BTCC. So
Awesome.
I mean, I think we both like touring cars, but I'm definitely guilty of not really ever watching it.
Yeah, I really like them, but for me to watch it would be very unusual because for a myriad of reasons, I don't actually have anything in my house apart from streaming services, and I don't think they're on any of them.
You can watch all of the races on YouTube after the fact,
Ah, okay.
which
Well,
I
I have no
only
fucking
found out
excuse then.
whilst looking up this stuff. So I watched a few races.
Fair, man.
And do you know what, right? I think we probably both have this idea in our heads of BTCC and it being like some quite robust driving. You know, like poking your nose up the inside, maybe a little bit forcefully, like a bit of contact, like close racing and very close racing.
Yes.
Scrappy.
Aye. It's it's very much it says no contact in the rules, but we kind of bend that one a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's still quite like that. It's not the same. So I watched some of the 2025 season. I actually watched a race at Knock Hill
Yeah.
because they still run at Knock Hill. So I watched three of the races because they race three races a day now in 2025. I watched three of the races, and the first one was terrible. It was like the highlights was like 2 minutes long. There were no highlights. The start and the end was the highlight.
Yeah.
But then the second two races were actually much better, and there was really close racing. Like it's super close racing. There's a fair bit of movement, even on a track like Knock Hill, where there's like realistically there is one place you can overtake, and as like a big braking zone. Unless you're like alongside already, it's kind of
Yeah.
just the final hairpin. Um, but like there was a lot of close racing, and it was still a little bit elbows out. There was still like a little bit of nudging going on, so that was good to see.
Yeah, man. Like it definitely is childish is the wrong word. It's the most adolescent motorsport out there,
It's a
you
thing.
know?
Like, do you know what? Right? It's like okay, so motorsports can be quite yobbish. It can be like quite like uh, quite showy and over the top and loud and like boisterous and kind of like it can seem a bit immature sometimes.
Yeah.
And some motorsports I think lean into that more than others. Like rallycross is like quite a yobby kind of
Yeah.
motorsport. Like you're throwing like a bunch of cars about in like a mud pit, and like bumping into each other and stuff. Like I feel like touring cars is almost like it's like the person who competes in that grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like there's more serious racing. Well, I'm not saying that like rallycross isn't serious, but there's like more like kind of like straight faced on the track racing in touring car. But there is still like this undercurrent of if you can't get past them quick enough, just push them out of the way and then carry on.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like you're not doing it a disservice in your description at all. Like y- if you're watching it, you wouldn't be surprised if you saw some really top shelf, like absolute professional driving. But at the same time, if you saw a car going around one lap and then it came around the next lap and it was missing your bumper, you also wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw a fair few offs even in just like watching three very short races at Knock Hill.
Yeah, man. And
But
like that's
oh,
sorry, go
no,
on.
fire on, dude.
So like it's always really close as well though. Like
Yeah, it is quite close.
you never really seem to see someone like pulling like a 9 second lead out. Like there's a fast group and then there's like the middle of the field and there's the back of the field. But in those three sections, the cars are all pretty fucking close together. Like they're all vying for position all the time.
Absolutely, no one's winning any races by 30 seconds.
No,
To be
definitely
fair,
not.
the races are much shorter. They're a lot more punchy.
Yeah, that's fair.
But so I watched some 2025 stuff, but I also watched, and that's the second clip that I sent you, as part of like, I don't know, like the multimedia part of this presentation. It was in the 1995 race at Knock Hill.
Oh
And
yes.
oh, it's good, man. It's really really good. The peak '90s metal, and the racing is definitely more elbows out, 100%.
Oh yeah. Like first corner there, half the field were on two wheels.
Yeah, the new in 2025 they have a camera angle for Not Kill, which is like looking directly straight through, the fast chicane. And
Yes.
it's absolutely amazing because you see the cars like really hit those curbs aggressively and just get like launched up onto two wheels and then very quickly snake through the chicane. It looks fantastic. I really enjoyed watching it actually. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch,
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So yeah, I would totally recommend that you watch some of that 1995 clip. It's like 12 minutes long and it's well worth the time in my opinion.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, like, I might actually have it on in the background as we're talking with the sound turned off. You can believe that if you want. Um, but like E36s, Renault Lagunas, Volvo like V70s, or S60s even, Alphas, the Mark 1 Ford Mondeo,
Well, I have
the
also prepared
Libras.
some images of the
Yes.
kinds of some of the vehicles. There's not all of them because I couldn't be bothered doing them all, but enough. So I will share my screen with you. Does that work?
It has indeed.
Cool. It feels like being at work. You're like, oh, let me just share my screen. Can everyone see that? Everyone hear me?
Yeah, man. Oh, you set your desktop background out like I do. Sorry,
What?
totally unrelated to the subject we're on. Like all your icons are grouped into like useful groups.
Oh, they're
I
not
do that as
logical
well.
groups. I just
Yeah.
like I just like arranging them around the outside to keep them out of the way.
Ah, fair enough. Right.
Don't worry, there's no logic to that at all. Okay, right. So, British Touring Car Championship, or kind of give it its like a original name. It was the British Saloon Car Championship.
Okay.
And do you know anything about it at all?
Um, road going cars, pretty much. It's like it was. This is like the one that really gets the halo effect, because you can literally go out and buy the same car that's racing, and it's just a little bit narrower, a little bit less leery, and you know, road going trim.
You are absolutely right there, man. Like that is the whole appeal of the BTCC, and like because again it starts in the 50s. For a long time, it's like very British manufacturer based. Certainly at the start, and then it starts to open up a little bit. But it's got quite an interesting history. I totally think anyways. But basically, it came about post-war UK. You know, like economy's rebuilding. More cars are starting to be like made and stuff like that. Obviously,
Yeah,
people are going to want to race them. Like this is human nature. We have to race each other in whatever stupid contraption that we've built.
yeah, man.
So basically, it was kind of set up by. I'm sure the BTCC website kind of credits one guy as being quite important in it, and I didn't write his name down, so he's going to be uncredited in this one, unfortunately.
I'm sure
Um,
he'll survive.
I, I think he may. I think he may not still be alive, to be honest. Considering it was essentially kind of set up in like 1957, and it started officially, I suppose, in 1958. But the first race was run on the Boxing Day of 1957.
Right.
No idea why you run your first race on Boxing Day, but fair play.
Yeah.
You do
That's
you.
that's a choice.
Yeah, it was really like it was like this formalization of kind of like more casual, kind of local, smaller saloon car like racing clubs.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, no, we'll make it like an official thing, and they set it up because it was kind of it was just normal cars, and especially like even now it's like the same thing now. There's a huge variety in what you can get, car size, engine displacement wise, like kind of available. So they set up four categories of less than 1.2 liters, 1.2 to 1.6, 1.6 to 2.7, and 2.7 and above as like your
Okay.
like displacement limit. So it created four classes or four groups.
Right.
But what's excuse me. But what I find really interesting about the way that they set it up is that so you've got four different groups and they're stepping up in power essentially. So you're getting faster. The drivers' championship, each group was awarded like the same amount of full points. So if you won the lowest group, the 1.2, you would get the same number of points as the person who won the highest group,
Right.
which did kind of mean in some cases that like you could follow the season and there would be one person that would consistently win the race, if you know what I mean, in one of the faster cars. But because they hadn't won as many races in the season as someone competing in a slower class, the slower class would win like the overall drivers champion, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Which
That's
is a little
yeah.
bit strange. I know like multi-tiered, multi-classes, you can win in your class, if you know what I mean. But usually there's like also maybe like an overall kind of like race winner.
Yeah. Aye. That's very strange. Like as a scoring model.
I think the
So it
BTC was a
is.
bit unique in that sense. So anyways, they have the first season and it's really close. It actually comes down to a draw at the end of the season because two drivers can score the same amount of points and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the way they settled the draw and decided the drivers' championship was they had two identical 1.5 Rileys, which is the first image in our slide pack.
Okay.
So that's the Riley, and they raced two head-to-head races of 5 laps, where after the first one they swapped cars to kind of eliminate any like bias between the two cars.
Yeah.
And the winner was essentially the person who had the two combined, the combined shortest time. And it was like decided that way, which I think is a really interesting way of deciding head to heads.
Yeah,
Like
that's
ties
really
and stuff.
cool. Because do you know that's a bit like the low cost racing in like the Nordic countries. So like it's like £1,000 to build the car. You can't spend any more than that. But if someone wants to buy your car, you can't say no to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I quite like. It's quite a good model for like making sure that people just don't take it. They don't go too over the top and take it too
Yeah.
seriously.
Aye, because all you're doing is handing your advantage to the other guy. You're better off having a near standard car and just knowing it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, that's novel. I like that. I really do.
So basically, it kicks off, and I wanted to like kind of draw out some of the earlier competitors because I imagine you probably don't recognize too many of these cars.
Probably not.
Like the Austin A35, pretty old car. Like it's a '50s car.
Yeah.
The Ford Prefect, which I genuinely like didn't know existed.
If you showed me a photo of that, like unsolicited, I'd be like, oh, it's like a Granada or something.
Yeah,
Or a
it,
Cortina.
it
Sorry.
does kind of look like a very like a first pass at the Cortina.
It does. Cool looking car though.
Quite a cool looking car, yeah. It really, in the image we're looking at, it really suits the two tone, I think.
Oh yeah.
And also the Bogward Isabella. Have you ever heard of the Bogward Isabella?
That one's a new one on me, man.
Yeah, that's what I quite like about BTC when it was first started because it's just filled with all of these weird British car brands that don't exist anymore.
Yeah. You
And
can see why with a name like that.
I love the color it's in as well. That sort of like minty pea kind of pastel green.
That it is a face only a mother could love.
Yeah, yeah. And then also the MG Magnet.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's not a bad looking car, but again, I had no idea that thing existed.
Neither did I. That's news to me again.
So these were like the cars we're looking at the moment, like are all kind of the low powered sports cars, like the
Yeah.
smaller displacements. And there was also the Amazon as well, the Volvo Amazon, which,
Love an Amazon.
yeah, everyone loves the Volvo Amazon. And then like the higher displacement classes, you had like the Jaguar 3.4,
Okay.
which is, it's quite a sick car.
Yeah.
And like the Ford Zephyr.
Yeah. So one of those is the ultimate bad guy car, one of those is not.
The Zephyr in question, this yellow paint does make it look a lot like a taxi.
It does actually. I was just thinking that to myself there. I was like, that is very taxi-ish.
One of the other things that I kind of didn't really do any research in, but really struck me when I was like looking through pictures and stuff like that, is that some of the liveries for these cars are brilliant. Like I really like some of these. I know we very briefly talked about it when we talked about like racing liveries a while back, but
Yeah,
just
man.
going through the pictures, oh, there's so many good ones.
Yeah. No, there's some really cool, like even modern day stuff. Like some of the liveries are class. So they are.
Totally.
But us,
But basically, early part of BTC history, it's kind of you're talking about like kind of like weird, fairly small engine British cars, kind of racing against like some of the bigger engined British car, kind of like the exceptions, if you know what I mean. Because it was mostly just like everyday cars that were like kind of prepped a bit for racing.
yeah,
And then in like the '60s, the Mini appears and becomes like really dominant in its class.
as it
It's
did with everything.
Yeah, I mean, like we kind of all know that the Mini was like a really good platform for various motorsports. And like you've got the Ford Cortina appears probably as a follow-on to the Ford Prefect, to be honest.
Yeah,
And that like and the kind of '60s into this like kind of start of the '70s. I think I'll have to check my notes, but yeah, certainly in the '60s it became like American muscle versus small British stuff in many ways because people started to run stuff like Ford Galaxies, Impalas. I love that picture of the Impala
yeah,
and how unbelievably massive it is compared to like all of the Jacks around it, which were like a saloon.
yeah. That's ridiculous
They're
looking.
absolutely huge, and yeah, and the Ford Galaxy as well. There's just these massive American cars, really properly enjoying the greater than 2.5 liters category.
Yeah,
Just a bit greater than.
they're taking advantage of the greater than 2.7, definitely.
Absolutely. And we also see like, the Mustang, the Ford Falcon and the Camaro. And I mean honestly, like the BTC kind of style Camaro looks crazy cool.
That is fucking sexual
Yeah,
right
it
there.
looks really,
That's
really good.
cool, man.
I would encourage anyone to just like really just have a look at some of these old cars. They are very, very cool. And honestly, I recognize some of these kind of cars from like racing games as well. It's really nice to always see something like a bit more unique and a bit weird popping up in those.
Yeah. No, that's class.
So yeah, there's some of your kind of early cars. You know, it's like there's a lot of American muscle. It does well. Like, uh, yeah, some of the touring car tracks can be quite fast.
Yes.
So you know, you want that power. But again, because it was in a class system, like you know, you've got the big American muscle like fighting for the top class, but then in the lower classes, stuff like the Lotus Cortina is like absolutely dominating. But just not like necessarily being the fastest thing on track.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lotus Cortina became a legend off the back of it. Like the BDA Ford engine, like, holy fuck. Well, BDA Lotus engine even. But yeah, like, just incredible.
Totally. I mean, actually, that's one thing I will say about the history of BTCC is that it is littered with like kind of domination streaks. Like at the start, it's quite varied and a bit more kind of competitive, but then towards later in its history, you really start to see like there is a technical development or there is a car or something that comes along and just like is clearly dominant, is clearly better, and like a manufacturer just sweeps title after title after title.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That you get like the eras though.
It definitely has eras, 100%. 100%, and we'll get to that. I've got some overall stats so you can hear like quite how dominant some teams have been in recent years. But basically, in kind of '66, they get some new regulations where the cars have to like more strictly look like their factory model, but they lifted some of the engine restrictions. So
Ooh.
like kind of the underside of not the underside the bits of a car that are in the body. Why can't I find what that word is? Can you help me out?
The chassis components, the running gear.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All of that, way more scope for like kind of making it a race car, but the body had to stay, you know, broadly standard.
Okay.
And also slicks come into it at this time.
Ooh, that would be probably quite a, I'd imagine there's probably quite a jump in lap times about this point then.
I would imagine so too. Yeah, slick tires are a big improvement.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so this is kind of like your time of like your Ford Anglias and your Ford Falcons, but like you know a more a more contemporary Ford Falcon and like the Escort and stuff like that. You know, this is when these are cropping up. Ford are all over BTCC, like really heavily represented, like Ford, like UK or Europe. I'm not really sure which one, but like you get a lot of like domestic Fords, but also stuff like the Falcon and the Mustang and the Galaxy. Like there's quite a lot of American Ford makes its way over here as well.
And even Australian, like Ford Falcons, like
Oh, is that Australian Ford?
yeah, see it was the Falcon and the Monaro were the two that like fought it out.
There
So
you
it
go.
was
So yeah, like so it's quite, Ford is well represented.
yeah, like every major continent, well, every major westernized continent has a Ford branch in it, you know?
Yeah, and they all sent cars over to the UK to compete in BTCC.
That's wild.
I thought that was quite crazy. Yeah. So that happens to Group Five, and then in the Group Two, they brought in regulations to kind of like specify the number of seats that the car had to have, and it
Right?
was essentially a sort of proxy ban on the 911
How dare they?
because the 911 had appeared and was like, you know, 911. So
Dominant.
it was quite suited for like road racing, and the BTCC decided they didn't want that.
Oh, poor Porsche. My baby.
So
Oh,
this is a really good period for the BTCC. There's like a lot more cars entering in the top class. That being said, the top class is still only 2.7 liters or above.
okay.
So like we're starting to see stuff like, more Camaros and like escorts and stuff like that fighting it out. But really, the overall thing is it's favoring big displacements because the maximum engine like grouping size is so low.
Yeah.
So they decide redo the regs. Now it's up to 1.6, 1.6 to 2.5, 2.5 to 4, and above 4.
Okay. That's quite an even spread there, yeah.
It, absolutely, yeah. It was. And these regs only lasted like a couple of years before they dropped them, and kind of forced the muscle cars to be kind of no longer like eligible for the competition.
Right?
I think there was maybe like potentially a little bit of like messing about there because the American stuff did do really really well. It was quite successful and dominant in some of the seasons.
Hmm. Yeah. And I can see why, like, the British Touring Car Championship might want to have quite a strong British manufacturer representation.
Totally, or at least cars you could buy in Britain.
Yeah.
So they essentially changed the regulations again, and they made it up to 1.3, 1.6, up to 2, and 3. So, I'm going to try that again. I said that wrong. So, 1.3 or under, 1.3 to 1.6, 1.6 to 2, and 2 to 3.
Right. Okay.
So there were your kind of class barriers now, class boundaries. So this was
Mhm.
like big Ford Capri era, and then the Rover Vitesse as well, which is the next picture on our slides. Because
Yep.
to be honest, I had no idea Rover ran like what was it, like a Rover
Like an
800?
SD1. Yeah.
No, the SD1 was before that, surely. Or is this an SD1?
I think that's an
Yeah, I think it is an
SD1.
SD1. Sorry, man. I'm just.
It's got that fucking horrible droop snoot that
It
they
does have
have.
the droop snoop, yeah, the unmistakable. But like that was a bit of a Rover design cue for a while as well. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I included that. Apparently, it was very successful in touring cars. Who would have thought it? Oh yeah, and there's a nice picture of the Ford Capri.
Yeah,
I can.
man.
Do you know what? Right? You know how we always have a bit of a laugh at Ford enthusiasts and their enthusiasm for fast Fords.
Yes.
See, when you grew up watching loads of Fords just bombing it about race courses on the TV, I can kind of see why you have like a little bit of a
An obsession.
yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
some of these look really really cool. Like we're going to get onto some more interesting Fords for kind of people of our age
Yeah.
in a little bit.
Oh,
But also, Japanese stuff arrived. So like
yes.
yeah, as the Japanese car brand started to like creep into consumer UK, they also joined BTCC and RX-7, man.
Yeah. An FB RX-7 as well. That is fucking sexual. Like,
It looks good, doesn't it? And
it
correct me
does.
if I'm wrong, but aren't the RX-7s 1.3s?
They are. Well, actually, I think the early FBs might have been 1.2s.
Interesting. So that would have made them eligible for the bottom class.
Yeah, they would have been fucking rapid compared to everything else in that class.
Absolutely. So that's like, so Mazda join in, Toyota get involved with like the Corolla. That's kind of like, the kind of late 70s period, kind of early 80s, but then Turbo comes along
Oh, yeah.
and the Ford Sierra Turbo just appears and just has like a really, really strong season, like a 9 out of 11 wins in
Wow.
85, which is like, that's a lot. That's a high win percentage, you know?
Yeah, that's decimation of the population. Like that's fucking nobody's competing. They're just taking the wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you've also got stuff like the Escort RS Turbo and like the Peugeot 205 GTI and stuff like that. But really, the main event is the Sierra RS 500,
Yes.
which appears in 87, but like just has quite a lot of problems and isn't really necessarily ready in like development. So it disappears, but then comes back the next year and just absolutely dominates in the top tier.
That is like that right there is the quintessential iconic touring car, you know? RS 500 Cosy.
See, for me, some of the 90s stuff is like quintessential touring car, but I could totally understand why some people see this one.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if it was between that and the RX-7, I'd have the RX-7. But I would not turn my nose up at an RS 500 cause.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not sure which one I'd have, man. That's such a tough choice. I think I'd spend more time driving the Ford, so I'd probably pick that.
Why wouldn't you spend more time driving the RX-7?
I just assume it would be broken.
How dare you? Fucking what what did Mazda and the Rotary Boys do to deserve that fucking dig like?
I'm sorry, did I offend the feelings of the Dorito Club?
You did. My fucking marvelous spinning Doritos of death. Can't be throwing shade on them like that, man.
Out of nowhere as well, absolutely unprovoked.
Aye.
So, Ford
Fuck's sake. Terrible.
Sierra RS 500 really like dominates, like top class, like does a lot of winning, but even though it had such a successful season in 88, because of the way the championship is still scored, where, all classes get the same number of points, the overall win went to the Pro Drive BMW M3 because it took
Ooh.
11 class victories, which I think were all of the races that season. And, that's also a very nice looking car.
That is incredible. That's making the choice between the RS, the RX, the Cosy, the M3, and the RX-7 a bit harder. But
Oh, yeah.
ultimately, yeah,
I'd have the M3.
yeah, the M3's very close to being picked over the RX-7.
I want all of this stuff, basically.
Yeah, like I mean, this is the thing. This is why we need millions of pounds so we can buy one of each.
Yes. I mean, do you know what I really like is the fact that like some of these, not all, but some of these cars are still driven like quite, quite aggressively at stuff like Goodwood. Like kind of, would it be Revival? It would be at now, or just Goodwood in general. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it'd just be Goodwood, but I know that like in the vintage classes, like stuff like this. Well, not the vintage, but the classic
I love watching those on
classes.
YouTube
Oh,
as well.
yeah,
It's really just nice to see them like in really, really high definition, just being like, chucked about.
yeah, it's cool. Like,
Yeah, I totally need to warn you. That clip from 1995, the resolution is terrible.
I had a little look. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you get used to it. Honestly, it's like kind of turning your brain back in time to when you just used to watch it on like TV on a CRT.
yeah, it's potato vision.
So with like that, we're kind of getting into the 90s, and that's when we see some new regulations again. So quite a lot of changes of regulations over the years. But they introduced basically a 2 liter single class touring kind of like kind of class, if you know what I mean. It's just basically running unleaded fuel. Everything's 2 liter. Like, here's the regs. Get a car, fit a car to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And because the great thing about touring cars, it is always just being cars that you see kicking about on the road, just with like fast bits glued to them.
Yeah,
And it's also always kind of reflected reflected what's being manufactured at the time as well. So loads of cars, like so many saloons in the 90s had a 2 liter engine option.
yeah. Because of this, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So they all these manufacturers had platforms that like kind of fit the bill. So loads of them were took part in the BTCC at this time, and like this getting into the 90s is kind of the bit that I remember the best of like kind of catching it when I was like quite young and quite little, and like the cars and stuff having a bit of an impression on me.
Yes, these are the ones that are etched in my memory.
Totally, like some of the icons. So like obviously, and like it's the liveries of some of these cars as well, like that bright red Alpha 155
That's incredible.
is really sick. And like it made a big splash in the championship because like it had an aero package on it, and it was it was so clearly the next step that the FIA kind of had to like let the other teams put aero on their cars as well
Right.
to kind of keep it kind of competitive and stuff like that. But I think that this like sort of breaking aero into BTCC has had quite a big impact on like aero becoming more of a thing on road cars as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the trickle down effect, isn't it?
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Like BTCC, I think has a really strong halo effect because the cars have had to look so normal for so long. Like they even have painted on headlights.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot. They're clearly putting the effort in to make them look like, well, to make them look like, not really, but to have the similarity, to like see the evolution, you know, of
Yeah,
like what your road car can be.
you know which one is meant to like. You know what it's meant to be.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's no mistaking like the Laguna or the Alpha
Oh, the
or
Laguna. Yeah,
any of them from that era, you know?
yeah. No, they were quite iconic to me. All of the designs, and like there were so many different manufacturers. You got Alpha come in, Aero's suddenly like a big thing. Then Honda arrives. Then Audi appears, and they've got the four-wheel drive A4, which was
Yeah,
like a bit. It was definitely new for BTCC. I don't think anyone had done four-wheel drive before. Um, and it's like it was really popular. It got loads of TV coverage. I mean, that's the reason why I've seen some of like this stuff is because it would have been like just kind of on in the background. Like I'm pretty sure my granddad used to like watch old BTCC like videos as well
yeah,
because he was like a big motorsport fanatic and stuff. Um, but the downside of basically all of these new teams, all of this like media attention is that costs start to spiral. It starts to get
yes,
really expensive because the level of technical development and kind of the eyes on it, like the potential advertising, the potential prestige is much higher as well. And I mean the same
yeah,
thing happened with Formula One and they introduced the cost cap. It was getting to the point where it was becoming unaffordable for teams. And the same thing happened to the BTCC and like manufacturers started to drop out because it just it wasn't viable to keep it going, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest.
yeah.
Because as we were saying, like this era has some like really iconic designs, like I mean the A4, the Audi A4's like uh racing livery is kind of crap, like silver with like a red
Audi
sponsors
badge. Yeah,
basically. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but the Alpha 155's red is beautiful, and like the Renault Laguna um
that
yellow and
blue and
blue.
yellow.
Oh, so good. And I love like honestly, it's so nice to see the Ford Mondeo, like It was, yeah, the Mark One Mondeo in like
Yeah,
its kind of its racing tat, because that car is like the car of the car of growing up, isn't it? Like you just saw them absolutely everywhere.
yeah, they were ubiquitous. Like Mondeo Man was a thing.
Totally. And Mondeo Man had a car that raced at the weekend that you could cheer on.
Yes.
You could see the Mondeo. I don't think they did particularly well, to be honest. Oh no, they won one championship actually in 2000. The Mondeo won.
Huh.
And also, you know, Vauxhall are a bit of a mainstay of the BTCC as well. I haven't really mentioned them because, again, like I totally do get where like this love of certain Vauxhalls comes for people when you grew up watching like them compete and race. Like I do like. I think the Cavalier looks really really cool.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, I think it's really cool. But like also they field like Vectras and Astras. And I didn't even include any pictures of them because like I didn't think you'd want to see a Vauxhall.
No, I don't.
I was
Do
like,
you know, like on this slide that you've got up, man, right? There's three things here that are really, really jumping out at me. One of them's the Volvo.
yes, I knew you'd like the 850 estate car.
Um, but there's one that's really quite close to my heart, and it's the Peugeot.
Really? So
Yes,
the
because
Peugeot
I
405.
remember being 17 and 18 in my 1.8 Ford Escort back in the day when power was easy to come by. And there was one of those, and it was the MI16 version of it,
Oh yeah,
and it was fucking rocket ship fast.
I bet it was way
Like
faster than what
it
you had.
was so fast, and it was only like an extra 25 brake over my car, but it was so light. Like as a motorsports package, that's cool. Like I really like that,
Hmm.
and the livery looks incredible.
It does. It
But
looks pretty sick. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. I must admit the I didn't really know that much about the Toyota Carina, and I gotta say I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks.
see,
Quite bland.
I saw that right there, and I was like, do you know when Thomas inevitably throws down the gauntlet of we need to build a track car each? I think I might go for a Carina E.
Really? Would you find one? I've never even seen one for sale.
Yeah, I might not find one actually. There used to be one at my old college actually in Carlisle, um, and it was used for student mechanics to practice on. So I don't imagine it's in very good condition.
Probably not. No. I also what I also love about this era is because the because like downforce is allowed in, all of the cars have like that silly little extended front splitter,
Yeah,
but no like nothing else along the side skirts. And then they've got like the little wing on the back. I just find that quite funny. It just looks there's something a bit disproportionate about it. It's very of the era.
yeah. It's like you can almost see like where the developments happened because they're like, oh, if we put a splitter on at the front, we can actually like get some downforce. But then there's just no airflow management past the front wheels.
You're on your
It just
own.
yeah, it just doesn't exist. It's like I just let it fly out from along the doors. It'll be fine.
Oh yes, and also the 90s gives us the 320 touring car,
Yep,
BMW 320, and yes, I quite like that.
that's cool.
That's the E45 platform, isn't it? You know
Uh,
E46.
46.
Yeah,
Yeah,
E46.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I like that. I've got such a soft spot for BMWs.
you really do.
Because in comparison, I put the Accord under there because I know, like, you know, you've got a bit of a connection with the Accord, and the Accord does nothing for me.
No, the Accord, even having owned an Accord, I thought it was a very capable car, and it did everything it did commendably well, but it did not set my hair on fire.
Absolutely, yeah, fair enough. It doesn't. I mean, I don't remember it from the video of the '95 race I watched.
No.
So either it was just like at the back where no one was filming, or it didn't come in until later. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the 90s, good time. There's a lot of cool stuff in the 90s going on.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then the 2000s appear, and like kind of people disappeared a little bit. It's really just Vauxhall, Peugeot, kind of like this is a period of like intense Vauxhall based dominance. They went 2001 to 2005,
Right.
which, like who wants to realistically watch a Vectra
Yeah.
for 5 years? So we'll move past that quite quickly, because Honda and MG kind of reappear in the series, but then the series changes hands a little bit. Like it's been kind of struggling in the 2000s, like reduced viewership. There's less interest. It's like it needs something, it needs shaken up. It's
Yeah.
like I think these things still operate as a business. They have to like be successful to be able to like keep going.
Yeah.
So it got sold, or it changed hands. New owners and new rules, and they let in basically cars that met the Super 2000
Ooh,
criteria.
that's a that right there is a rally and rallycross standard.
It is, yes, it absolutely is, and I think that actually might also be why we see quite a lot of hatchbacks
Yeah,
appear in
because
it, because they're
like
already like they're already kind of like meet that criteria.
yeah, they do. That makes a lot of sense. So it does.
Yeah, I thought that was quite interesting actually. It was like, and it works. Like, lots and lots of manufacturers like already have stuff kind of ready to go. So there's bigger grids. There's like kind of more stuff going on. And like Seat appears with their Toledo, and
Yeah.
it does quite
Huh.
well. It
Do you know? I just want to reverse a little bit. See, allowing a Super 2000 compliant car into a different race series, that was an absolute fucking masterstroke.
yeah, I think so actually.
Because you've done two things simultaneously there. You've decreased the entry bill for manufacturers, and you've also poached fans because all the fans that are watching rally and rallycross are suddenly like, oh, these cars are now eligible for fucking circuit racing.
I totally agree. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it does kind of take away from like the uniqueness of the BTCC before it, like that 2 liter kind of 2 liter saloon
Yeah,
cars. It becomes something different, but I think it kind of saved the sport a little bit. So you know,
we'll let it go.
oh, and also I quite like the Seat. The Seat is I quite like that livery they went for
Do
with
you
the
know
yellow and grey.
that era of Seat has a really nice design language?
Yeah, I quite like them. I quite like them indeed. Yeah.
There's something quite nice about them. So there is.
So basically, as time goes on and we're in the kind of 2000s and stuff like that, we see a kind of a gradual fading out of like the old BTCC kind of the cars that were designed to the older regs in
Yes.
favor of the like S2000s. But we also see some kind of like just some kind of interesting stuff like see it enter a diesel, like a turbo diesel into like
Huh.
races, which I had no idea. And then Ford also had an LPG turbo engine that they trialed out in it. So like again, like F1, there is still quite a bit of like pushing engineering and development in this series.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like that's actually like I can see like the potential advantages as well. Like diesel torque mid-range punch, like coming out of corners, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got
And
the boat.
LPG, I don't really know enough about LPG to be able to comment on it, but I'd imagine there's possibly like a detonation um combat an advantage there with like octane ratings or the way the fuel's handled. Like there's possibly a bit of an advantage there as well.
I didn't really look up that much further to be honest. I kind of just wanted to do like a little bit of a history because like this period is a period of like domination by particular manufacturers. Like this is where it gets like a little bit like, you know, Mercedes in F1 where they just keep winning the constructors for that period of, you know, for those regs.
Yeah,
And like, you know, I said Vauxhall won 2001 to 2005, and then Seat won one, and then Vauxhall went back on to win another three, and then Honda won four with a Civic, and then MG won one, and then it was back to Honda. So like you kind of see it's like it's the same manufacturers that are, you know, succeeding with kind of like the same cars.
yeah. No, that's fair.
But like Subaru joined in for a bit in 2017 with the like they're kind of Impreza. Not
Yes,
really that successful to be honest, but you know they joined in.
fair.
And BMW are there, and BMW have done quite well in it recently. Like 2016 to 2022, all BMW wins with like the 125 first and then the 330.
Yeah,
And they're on it's still the 330 they're running, just kind of like being updated essentially. It's like it's very much a BMW kind of like thing at the moment. I think the 2025 one was won by a Hyundai i30,
okay.
but the racing certainly is close and competitive even now. Like the race, the races I watched were pretty good actually on a circuit that I'm not 100% sure it's that good for overtaking. But they do have other things that I'm not sure you'll be as much of a fan of. In that they also have like hybrid and boost, a bit like F1 also.
I'm on board. Like, it's not full electric, so I don't hate like hybrids. I'm actually on board with. Hybrids make sense.
Fair, absolutely fair. So yeah, they have basically they have like a hybrid system. It's like it's now all just like a kind of standard BTC kind of like turbo engine that was kind of created for the series.
Yeah, like they
Um,
have to use a standardized unit across all the cars.
yeah, essentially yes. But they now have like the deployable like kind of battery and hybrid system, which they've tweaked a little bit and they've given like drivers access to like double boost at certain points. So that does really really help the racing because you can totally tell when um you know cars are thundering down the back straight. The ones that are on boost are noticeably faster, and it really
Yeah,
helps people. It helps let people get alongside. It's not quite like F1 where they just boost past each other on the straight, and it's like there's no real overtake there.
yeah, like it's almost engineered to keep it close or not.
No, yeah, it feels like it's designed to make it like just make it a touch easier to get in a position to do the overtake rather than like oh no it facilitates it is an overtake in itself.
Yeah,
Like
fair
you need to
enough.
come
I
out of the corner well and then get on the battery to manage to overtake, or you need to like, you know, get come up behind someone and use the battery to like get yourself alongside to do an overtake.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But you will also be interested to know that in 2025 they got rid of the hybrid system
Oh, okay.
and ran 100% fossil free sustainable fuel.
Yes. Fucking there we go. Actual innovation in motorsport there.
Hmm.
I love it.
So yeah, they've gone from the 330e to the 330i again.
Yeah, that's progress, man. That is absolute fucking progress.
But yeah, thought you would totally enjoy that they're using synthetic fuel, which is really cool actually. Like
It
really, really
is.
cool.
That's part of the future right there. Because electric's bollocks. Hybrids work, but you still need a combustion engine for hybrids to work. And yeah, like that's it right there. Boom, synthetic fuel.
Yeah,
I
I mean
see my
honestly, I had no idea there were a point where they could just like use it for a race series. I know a race series uses a lot less fuel than like the entire world, but like that's really cool.
Yeah, that's class. I see the Corolla GR there as well. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I know.
that's fucking nice.
So I thought I would include like a little selection of images for you, just of like the 2025 kind of teams. They're these are the cars. Like there are other teams running the same car, but it's just mostly for a car. So there's like the 330i, there's the i30N, the Honda Civic. Civic is just a staple of this, honestly. The Toyota Corolla, and then the Focus ST, and there's
Do you
also
know?
a Vauxhall, some sort of Vauxhall.
Yeah, yeah, shite. Do you know what's interesting about the i30 though?
What's that?
It's the saloon version, not the hatch.
It is, yeah. I don't know if they do a hatch. Oh, sorry, no, the i30, not the 330. Yeah, no, I actually think that's quite interesting as well. That it's like the four door.
See, I wonder if that sort of notchback coupe saloon shape actually has an aerodynamic advantage in drag reduction
Yeah, yeah, it may well do actually.
because you've not got just a void at the back where you're going to have like a low flow, low pressure, turbulent, fucking horrible, pishy air.
Yeah, just
You're
like a little
actually,
bit slippery.
yeah, you're tapering it back, you know?
Hmm.
It's like bullets. You know, if you like a bullet's like quite pointy at the front, but there's a people put boat tails on them, which is what they put a small chamfer at the back of the actual ballistic tip of the bullet, and it increases like range and speed
Mm.
through aerodynamics. Same
Yeah, yeah.
idea.
Because you're disturbing less of the air because it's like staying kind of like was it laminar flow?
Yeah, like it's allowing the air to taper back together
Yeah,
after the disturbance of the whatever object that is passing through it. It's quite interesting.
it is. Yeah, fluid dynamics is really really cool.
They're also really confusing. They do shit you don't expect sometimes.
Totally. And I mean, yeah, there is still a couple of hatchbacks being run. Like the Corolla is a hatch still, and the
Yeah,
Civic, kinda. The Civic really is pushing hatchback. To be honest, it's pushing it quite far. It's more a coupe.
yeah, they're a weird old shape. The Civics now.
They
It's
totally
like
are.
they're really pushing the envelope of what is considered a hatchback.
So yeah, that's kind of a little brief history of the like what's been going on and like the kind of dominant cars and players and stuff. But also track wise, not really. It's kind of often the same tracks to be honest. Like they've run Knock Hill for ages, Donington Park, like Alton Park, Silverstone, Brands Hatch, Snetterton. Like
Yeah,
they're fairly consistent to be honest, which I also quite like because you see the I mean, because they're all like in the UK, which is nice. Because obviously it's
yeah,
like British series, but like I do like how they still go to like the same kind of places because you can really see the evolution of them over time as well on like the same kind of track.
yeah. Like it's really cool to be able to go online and watch them racing on the same track in the '90s, and then watch like a modern day race on the same track. Like you can see the evolution of the series, the cars, even the evolution of like the driving.
Yeah, I know. I
Um,
totally agree. Actually, I 100% agree. You can see like how the tracks very slightly change, but also yeah, the way the cars drive and the way people approach the track changes as well.
Definitely.
Like I remember I think it was in the '95 one. I saw someone basically like outbreak themselves and lock up and go deep into the final hairpin at Knock Hill. But then they like, they just kind of like it made it a later kind of apex to the corner, um, and came out of it. And because there was like traffic and other stuff going on, they got the run on the person they were trying to overtake. Um, whereas like I don't really feel like that would happen in 2025.
No, I don't. I don't think you would get that. Like The like there seems, do you know, people seem to get obsessed with like really clean racing. And I don't mean that as in not touching, like not like having a little bump between cars, but like trying to be as clean and smooth as possible.
Mm,
And sometimes you just need to be a bit more abrupt.
yeah, I think touring car is more a stabbing at the wheel than precision movement kind of racing series.
Yeah.
Do you know what
No.
we didn't talk about actually very briefly is particular kind of like notable names in touring car?
Oh, okay.
And do you know what I'm gonna hit you with? Who do you think has the most wins of all drivers in the BTCC? Because also there's a lot of British drivers competing in it. Like it is proper British, isn't it?
Sorry, that accent just tickled me there. I honestly don't know. Like the only racer who springs to my mind is Jason Potato.
Well, you'd be right.
Is Jason Potato the most successful BTCC driver?
He has the most wins, yeah. 97 wins. He did a lot of racing and he was, he did win a few championships as well.
That's fair. Yeah,
But yeah, he's kind of the biggest name you'd probably recognize. Like once you watch a couple of videos, you'll totally recognize the names because people tend to hang about in touring cars for a fair bit.
it's unfortunate as well because he's a total prick of a man.
Are you not a fan?
No, like I remember running into him. Like actually, like came around the corner. When I was at the touring cars in Knockhill, like I came around the corner. We were skecking through the pits. I don't know if we were meant to be there or not, but we went for a look, and we're like fucking skecking through the pits, and turned the corner, and he was just like fucking there in front of him. Nearly walked into him. I was, oh fucking sorry, mate. Oh Jason, really cool to meet you. Like I've watched you on touring cars since I was like a fucking Wayne. And he's like, fuck off, mate. Like legitimately, just like fucking snubbed it. I was like, wow. I was like, I know, like it's not like I sought him out and was like, "Oh mate, autograph." It was like literally almost walked into the cunt walking around the corner, and it was like, "Oh fuck, I'm really sorry, man. Oh, I've watched like, just say hello. Don't snub somebody like that."
Aye, maybe that was a bit rude. Like,
Yeah, I'm also not the only person that said that. Like I've heard other stories about other people having similar experiences.
fair enough. I can't say I've met him.
Fucking prick of a man.
Fair enough.
That might be a bit harsh, but yeah, like there's no need for your ignorance, Jason Potato.
So, what do you reckon? Who do you think is the most winningest of manufacturer?
Oh, something.
You were right on the driver. Can you make it two for
I
two?
want to say Honda, but some horrible part of my brain is shouting that it might actually be Vauxhall. Hold on, in like in of all time,
Yeah, of all time,
Ford.
yeah.
Ford.
Yeah, you're totally right, man.
Yeah, I
Did
was
you
like,
Google that? You better not
no,
cheated.
I didn't, because like I was like I defaulted to like from '90s to now, and I was like, well, it's probably going to be Honda because they were fucking dominant with the Integra when they imported it.
Yeah, you
And then I
would be
was like,
right.
but
Honda would probably like be the highest scorer in the like kind of more contemporary, like the last kind of 40 years.
yeah, but no, since like the dawn of the championship, then I would say Ford, yeah, just
Yeah,
based on the sheer amount of cars they've had campaign.
totally. Yeah, like it's Ford, and it's Ford by like almost 100.
Really?
So the sheer number of Fords that have taken part, like BTC is a very Ford centric kind of thing, especially in its earlier, because they kind of disappear to be honest. Oh no, they still have the Escort, I suppose. No, the Focus. It's not the
Yeah.
Focus, yeah. Um, but yeah, and then it's like Ford, Honda, BMW, Vauxhall.
Huh. Fair
Like,
enough.
yeah, not like maybe not the order you totally expect, but like these are the kind of manufacturers that have stuck it out for the longest as well, in many ways.
Yeah. Because, you know, Ford's actually quite a weird thing, given their current fucking range of cars. Like, they are icons of motorsport.
They absolutely
Um,
are, yeah.
and part of me is like, you don't fucking deserve to have this reputation. Like, look at what you're doing to yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a history, right? But they're just not necessarily getting it right on the consumer side at the moment.
Yes, I think that's the best way of phrasing that.
But
It's
Ford have
certainly
totally screwed it up in the past as well.
that's true, yeah. I mean, have they though?
Yeah, totally. Ford have had some serious missteps.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the Pinto that kept blowing up all the time.
Yeah, but I was thinking of Ford like Ford UK.
Ah.
Because like, I mean like there's the EcoBoost fiasco.
Oh, well, yeah. I
But
that's
sorry man.
no, that's a big example. Yeah, I'll give you that 100%.
And the fact that you could nick those Fiestas by getting in through the boot really easily.
Oh yeah. No, fair enough.
But to be
Yeah,
fair, pretty much every car manufacturer has like one or two of these like kind of stupid, like just fumble the ball kind of deal.
yeah. Like there was a period of time when you could steal cars with a tennis ball.
I totally. So yeah, I mean, it's difficult to come after them for that, but it does. I do think that they've definitely had moments where they've released like bum cars every now and again.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. Um. Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree with that statement at all. It's just it just is what it is. Yeah.
Totally. And well, honestly, that wraps up my sort of like kind
The
of like
case for
short history. Well, I suppose this was more a history of the BTCC because like I didn't really know very much about it going in. I'd like seen a little bit, but then not really like kind of deliberately watched it, and I really enjoyed learning about all of this stuff. Like I really like the historic stuff, um, quite a lot, but like the '90s touring cars are really the ones that I most gravitate towards.
yeah.
Like
I
those
mean,
M3s and the 155.
there's something about it, man. It's just such a cool race series, and it's so accessible as well. That's the thing, you know. Like it's hard to argue against something that takes the theater of motorsport and just makes it like you can go out and buy this on tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, no, like, do you like that car? Do you think that car's great? Well, you can buy one pretty much just like that without it being race prepped.
Yeah, like you can't do that for like Le Mans, for example, or Formula One. Like it's just
Totally.
impossible.
They're a little bit too far removed. I mean,
Yeah.
like some of the GT class stuff still does
Yeah.
look, but it's like it looks car like, but the cars that it looks like are kind of unaffordable.
Yeah. Like I mean, yeah, the GT3 Bentley looks like a Bentley Continental, but you have to be able to afford a Bentley Continental.
Totally, like the 911s. I mean, yeah, okay, you can buy a 911 looks quite a lot like that, but it's still a 911.
Yeah, I mean, 911 is probably the most extreme one because you can actually buy a road going 911 that's probably faster than a race car if
Yeah,
if you're so inclined. But again, you need to have like £300,000. Whereas if you go out and you see that 330i doing really well in the touring cars, and you're like, fucking hell, I fancy one of them. You can
mm-hmm.
actually go and PCP one
Yep,
from your local
absolutely.
BMW dealership for like 800 quid a month. Which I know I was like making this sound affordable, um, but you'd have to be off your tits to spend £800 a month on a car.
Yes, you absolutely would. That's too much.
Yeah, way too much. Fucking way too much. But that's a different episode altogether.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, no, I would totally recommend to anyone who's got a bit of free time and access to YouTube to watch the old BTCC stuff. But also the new stuff is still really, really good as well.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the fact they upload races is really nice. They've actually got on their YouTube channel. They've actually got like a couple of like documentary length videos, but that I think I'll give a watch when I've got time.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I bet they're really, really interesting. Actually, like the BTCC, like their website has loads of information about what's going on, like teams, statistics, data. Their YouTube is really like actively uploaded to, and they have race highlights, onboards, and full races for like the whole season. And like
Yeah,
the videos have like tiny amounts of views. Like, you know, like some of them have less than 1,000. Like the races themselves have like, you know, less than 10,000. And I think it's just a bit of a shame actually, because like they're really cool. I think that more people should know about it.
yeah. You know, this is the. You know when you've got like the likes of Formula One, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got this. Like, I struggle to see how people don't watch the more accessible forms of motorsport. You know?
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like people end up gravitating towards like the most expensive, most glitzy, most glamorous, most like hyper and like I suppose it's like pinnacle sport, isn't it?
Yeah. Although you know, right? I think it's maybe a case of every dog will have his day, though, because there was once a time when Formula One was struggling.
Absolutely.
Um,
And there was a time when BTCC was massive.
yeah, and it kind of goes in in cycles, you know. Do you know one thing that I think kind of hurts it though,
What's that?
and I think it's the halo effect in reverse. So like, see when like Joe Blogs sees some dickhead in a 1 Series BM like trying to skid round a roundabout, and what they actually do is end up in their living room.
Yeah.
And then he sees the identical car on the BTCC. It's like there might be a bit of reverse, like,
Do you think that the people buying the cars they see racing are the problem and it's ruining the racing?
well, I'm just thinking because they look so like the road cars to Joe Blogs. Does Joe Blogs really recognize the difference between like a race car and just a fast road car?
Hmm. True.
Which is the point I'm making, which might not be very succinct, but you know, it is what it is.
I do see what you mean. I see what you mean. I'm not sure. I don't know how. I don't know how the manufacturers weigh that up.
Yeah, do you know there's probably some quite interesting psychology at work. I'd really quite like to look into that, the psychology around the halo effect and everything else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if there's a reversible effect to it, like does it work in reverse as well? Like the negative connotations with fast road cars with the general public kind of like fuck motorsport over.
I'd be fascinated as to what you found out if you did.
I
Honestly.
might I might have a look at that massive two-wheel moment.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
It's probably worth watching.
that's incredible.
It's quite a big moment, isn't it?
He's deep into the gravel as well. I love that he had
Yeah.
enough speed and momentum to like carry him through the entirety of the gravel pit.
So what? He just he just bounces through the gravel pit. But yeah,
That's
I think
class.
what we should do is we should wrap the episode up before we just start watching clips of BTCC.
Yeah, that's very true. I think so.
So yeah, I hope Colin, you got a little bit out of this, like a bit of history of the BTC, like to see how the championship has kind of evolved over time and like who's kind of been the dominant players in it and like, just the change in regs and the change in approach basically.
Yeah, man. No, I really enjoyed that. That was class. Like that was fucking fantastic.
This was a
Um,
really good one to like read about. Like I'm kind of into BTCC off the back of just reading about it and watching some of it.
do you think you're into it enough to start watching it?
You know what? Yeah, I might actually do that because I've been itching for the Formula One. And it would be really nice to have something to kind of like supplement it with. The next event is not for a while though; it's 2 months
It's 51 days, 13 hours, and 28 minutes away.
at Donington Park.
Yes.
Actually, I really want to find the schedule for this calendar. Not Hill in August.
Ooh. Do you want to get tickety boos for that?
Yeah, we should probably go to that.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done anything like it like fucking Gravity 2023 or something
I
was
know
like
it was
when
a long
we.
time ago. Yeah, and also this one, Knock Hill's like pretty convenient for it's reasonably convenient for both of us.
Yeah, I think that could be good. Let's look at tickets and we could do. Oh, hold on, there's tickets right there.
I know the website's great, isn't it?
This, do you know, right? How often do you go on a website and you're just like, this is pish.
Yeah,
Why?
you're really
Why can
angry
I
at
not
it.
find what I need to find? And this it's just like, actually, when's it at Knock Hill? Oh fuck it, man. That's not bad. We'll just go to that. Oh fucking there's the tickets right there. It's like boom, boom, boom. Job done. Um what would we do?
What is it? Oh, weekend ticket is 60 quid.
42 quid for this Sunday, which is when the actual racing happens. Oh, class. I only need to pay for one child.
Yeah, I mean Sunday's probably the one to do it, but that's the day the racing's on. Ah, yeah, because most of it's qualifying on the. There's one race for F4, Venturi Mini, and Porsche Sprint.
Yeah, the Porsche Cup is fucking fantastic to watch, by the way. As
Yeah,
is the Ginettas. It's fantastic.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing all the support races as well. Yeah, Sunday tickets I think is the vibe.
Yeah, I think Sunday tickets is the one. Um, well, I'll see if Bex fancies it actually, um, because that could be a really good day out.
Ah, you take the fam.
Yeah, well, not the fam. Because the kids won't enjoy it. Like the kids would be fucking bored out their tits at that. But
Fair
me
enough.
and me and Bex, I think it could be quite good. And
Oh, I'll.
yeah, but we'll get a squad of folk together. That could be class. I'm really liking this idea. This is class.
Yeah, I'm totally on board for that. Cool. All right. Well, perfect. We're gonna go watch some BTCC just off the
We
back of
are
this episode.
indeed,
Maybe you
indeed.
should too.
You should you should support your local racing series. So you should, dear listeners, get out there and let it tickle your pickle.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. If you like and have enjoyed this, like slightly rambly history of the BTCC, yeah, give us a subscribe, a like, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Toodaloo. Toodaloo.